Hey guys, I am back on the road. Greetings from the hot and sweaty jungles of southern Mexico. I have been cycling now for about a week since leaving Oaxaca City, and I'm going to be spending the next year and a half or so making my way slowly back down to the bottom of South America. It has been a while since I've done a gear video here on this channel, and with it coming up on the end of 2025, I thought this would be a good opportunity to give you a roundup of 7 of my favorite bike packing upgrades. So these are 7 products that I have found over the last year or two, which I think make a major difference to the experience. These are things that I've singled out as especially good products, so I would highly recommend all of these. They've all been well tested. I'm going to put links to all of the items I talk about today in the description to this video, so check that out. And all of my gear, the way I set up my bike, everything I use is, as always, listed on my website, so do check that out if you have any questions. So the first bike packing upgrade that I would recommend is this little gadget. This is the Coros Dura bike computer. So if you watched my packing video from about 6 months ago, you will know that I had a good grumble at the bike computer I was using. I got a lot of comments from other people that felt similarly, and many people actually recommended that I check out this particular computer, the Coros Dura. And so I listened to what everyone said, and I managed to pick up a unit, and I've been using the Coros Dura now for the last couple of trips that I've done, and I have to say it's bloody great. I really recommend this. It seems to have completely solved the problem that I was having with overpriced and underperforming bike computers. Personally, I don't need my bike computer to do anything especially fancy. I have my phone mounted on my handlebars for the sort of more complicated stuff. So what I just want my bike computer to do is just to work well, to have a long battery life, and to just make it easy to follow, easy to track my stats. And that's basically it. I don't need a lot of bells and whistles for bike packing. I just want it to work reliably. I want it to be simple and easy to use. And really, I think that's what this is. I think the Coros Dura is just perfect if all you need is a GPS device which you can upload a route to. Makes it really easy to follow the route. It's going to give you the stats that you want, and that's just basically it. Like, it doesn't need to do anything super fancy, but what it does extremely well, and it does everything I need it to. The big bonus for the Dura is that the battery life on this is absolutely phenomenal. So it's USB-C chargeable, which is great, and Coros say 120 hours of continuous use on one of these units. So for comparison, I think the sort of higher end Garmin's currently quote something like 30 hours, 35 hours maybe. That's about the best they're going to do. So this should actually do about 4 times longer than basically any other bike computer currently on the market, which is crazy. It also has solar, so you can actually top up in the sun as well. But anyway, really rate these. The price is phenomenal, I think, for what you're getting, and I think these are absolutely brilliant. So I would highly recommend the Coros Dura. Great product, definitely worth checking those out. The next product I'm going to recommend is actually on the bike. This is the suspension seat post that I've been using for the last year and a half. So this is the Redshift ShockStop Pro Endurance seat post. So this has 35 millimeters of travel. It weighs about an extra 200 grams compared to a standard seat post, maybe 300 grams compared to a carbon post. But the difference in comfort that this has made over the last couple of years is really significant. The really amazing thing about this post is that it just massively reduces the amount of fatigue that I get at the end of long days when riding on rough roads. It's not just the fact that it makes the ride a lot more comfortable, though it does, but it means that at the end of the day, I'm far less tired than I usually am if I'm not using a suspension post. It just really takes a lot of the stress out of your body, which means that you can push a lot further. I would never ever want to go back to a non-suspension seat post at this point. They do make a really big difference. And this one, as I say, 35 millimeters of damped travel, highly recommended. I don't find that it gets in the way when I'm riding on smoother surfaces. It doesn't inconvenience me. I don't find it really affects my efficiency. I'm not bouncing around at all in it. It's just there all the time to just smooth things out, make the ride more comfortable, and I really love this post. If you haven't ridden suspension seat posts before, I think you'll be pretty amazed at how much of a difference they make. They do make things so much more comfortable, and they really take so much stress off your body, which I think is really worth the money. So if you can afford it, I highly recommend checking one of these out. So the next product I would recommend is a drone, and this is the HOVERAir Pro Max. And HOVERair is also the sponsor for this video, so thanks very much to them for supporting my channel. I've been using the HOVERair Pro Max for about the last 4 months or so. So I use this as my only drone for filming my scrapyard challenge back over the summer in the UK. I also took this with me to Iceland, and I've now been using it here in Mexico as well. So the thing I really love about this drone is how incredibly quick and easy it is to deploy. So you don't actually even need a controller with these. So all you have to do is you have to pull it out, you turn it on, you hold it up, and you press the button for it to start tracking you. And there are various modes that you can put it in. These are all very quickly adjustable. You push the button, it will follow you. You then have to stop. You make an X above your head with your arms to tell it that you're done filming. It'll then land in your hand. You can then put it away and carry on with the rest of your day. So these are so quick and easy to capture footage with. So it really doesn't intrude at all into your process. So I've been able to get so much more footage without really inconveniencing myself because of this drone. And it packs away tiny, so even for bike packing, you've always got space for one of those. It makes it really easy. The footage I think is really great quality. It shoots in up to 4K 60. It also has the option of filming in log, which is brilliant. The tracking on them works really well, and it's been just a real pleasure to use. So if you are at all interested in filming yourself or filming you and your friends when you go on bike packing trips, I would highly recommend the HOVERair Pro Max. It is a really cool piece of kit. So the next product that I would recommend is a new one for me. I've only had this for about the last 3 or 4 months, and you won't actually be able to see it on the bike currently because it is sort of hidden under the handlebar bag at the front. But the product is the twisted T-bar, and the T-bar is essentially been described as a push-up bra for your handlebar bag. So it attaches to your steerer tube. You use it in place of one of the spacers, and what it does is it stops your handlebar bag from pushing into your head tube, and it instead pushes everything forward and up. As someone who uses a pretty large handlebar bag in conjunction with a suspension fork and big wheels, I have had issues in the past with tire clearance for my handlebar bag because I like to keep my handlebars as low as I can, but I also need to make sure that my handlebar bag is not going to rub into the tires when the suspension is used. And so someone actually reached out to me and suggested that I try one of these. So I thought I'd give it a go. And what I found is it's made an enormous difference to the stability of the handlebar bag, the amount of tire clearance that I've had access to, and also just to the effectiveness of the whole system. If you are someone that uses a roll top handlebar bag like this, anything at all in that sort of design, I highly recommend checking them out. It makes everything a lot more stable. It just sits really well on the handlebars. It makes it easier, more convenient to use, to pack, to compress. It all just works so much better with the T-bar. So really love that product. Something I'm really happy I found. Wish I'd found it a few years earlier, to be honest. But as I say, if that is the kind of bag that you use, highly recommend checking out the T-bar. It has made a really big difference to the way that I'm able to set up my handlebar bag. Okay, next up we have another gadget. This is the Cycplus AS2 Ultra electric pump. Now, I resisted getting an e-pump for a really long time because I just didn't think they were actually necessary. It seemed like a kind of pointless thing to me. I finally thought, all right, let's give it a go. And despite myself, I have to say, I really like it. It is just pure laziness. There's nothing wrong with an old-fashioned pump. But I have to say, it is really nice just not to have to bother going through all the gruel of pumping your tires up, especially if you use high volume tires like me. It can take a while. It can be a bit of a grind getting air into them. Whereas with this, it is a bit loud, but it's just so quick and convenient. It has a built-in pressure gauge, which is also really nice. And yeah, I didn't want to like it, but I do. It is great. You still probably want to carry a backup pump if you bike pack in remote areas, but you can get away with just having a much smaller, lighter one just for emergencies if one of these fails. It works really well. It has made me happy not having to get down and pump these up by hand. Would definitely recommend the e-pump, and the Cycplus AS2 Ultra is the smallest and lightest one that I've been able to find, so that is great. Okay, so the next thing I have to recommend are the Ombraz Viale armless sunglasses. So I have talked about these before. I mentioned these in my packing video, but I think it's worth mentioning these here because I do really love these sunglasses. So if you haven't come across Ombraz sunglasses before, They have, instead of the standard plastic arms on most sunglasses, these have just a string, essentially, a hardened cord that is fully adjustable that goes around the back. So you then have it firmly attached to your head. It cannot fall off. You can loosen it and you can just have it around your neck when you're not using it, but it just then sits very comfortably on your head. For outdoor sports, bike packing, hiking, climbing, anything like that, I don't think I will ever go back to a different style of sunglasses. Just the fact that they cannot fall off is huge, and they're just so much more comfortable, especially if you are wearing a helmet. The standard sunglasses, I mean, it's hardly brutally painful to wear them with a helmet, but it definitely can start getting a little bit uncomfortable. It can sort of dig into your head. Whereas these, they just sit very comfortably all day. I just don't even know I'm wearing them. It's honestly a big upgrade in my eyes. I really love them. The lenses on the Ombraz are really great as well. And the Viales do have the option of modularization. So you can add these side shields, which I really like because they cut out any kind of peripheral glare. Yeah, I would really recommend these sunglasses. So Ombraz is, I think, a relatively new company based out of the US, still relatively small, but most people I know who have tried these sunglasses are also pretty devout now. It's hard to go back, I think. So if you are in the market for a pair of sunglasses, I would highly recommend checking out Ombraz. Really love these. And yeah, I don't think I'll be going back to normal sunglasses anytime soon. Okay, lastly, I have got a piece of clothing to recommend. So I have talked about this before, but this is the Senchi Designs Alpha 90 hoodie. This functions incredibly well as a mid-layer. Because it's incredibly thin, it allows a lot of airflow and it's incredibly breathable, so it doesn't actually cause you to really sweat. But then if it does get cold, you can just throw a rain jacket or a windbreaker, a shell over the top of this, and it keeps all of the heat in. So it functions essentially like a standard fleece, except that it is significantly lighter, significantly smaller. So it's packing down to a really small footprint there. It weighs very little. I think it's about 100 grams or so for one of those. It feels really nice to touch, like it's really lovely to wear, and it provides a remarkable amount of warmth for the weight, for the pack size there. I can't really justify a fleece because I just find that they take up too much space. They're too heavy for the warmth that they provide. But there are times when I do need something extra to go in between my merino wool base layer and my rain jacket. Sometimes it's just a little bit too cold and you need something in the middle, but you don't necessarily want to wear your puffy jacket because it's going to get wet and you need that for around camp. So I was looking for something that served as that kind of middle ground, and I mean, this thing is just absolutely beautiful. Love these, highly recommend it. It's from a small company also based in the US. The downside with these is that they make them in batches and they do seem to sell out incredibly quickly because they are under really high demand. So when the batches come out, if you want one, I would just suggest buying as quickly as possible. These are a little bit tricky to get hold of, but incredibly worth it. As I cannot tell you how much I appreciate these. Got me through some very cold days and nights, and absolutely love these. So if you are looking to level up your layering system for the outdoors, massively recommend the Senchi Designs Alpha 90 hoodie. Okay, so that is all I've got for you today. If you have used any of the products that I've gone through today, I'd love to hear about your experience, so please do drop me a comment. If you have any questions about any of these items, just say drop me a comment and I will get back to you. Everything that I've talked about today is going to be linked in the description to this video, so by all means check that out. And my full bike and gear list, everything that I use, is on my website, so you can check that out if you want to have a look. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. This is going to be the last video that I make in 2025. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. By the time I make the next video, I should hopefully have crossed at least 2 borders. So wishing you guys all the best, and I will see you in 2026.